It is very, 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 very unfortunate that some Nigerians, because of the hatred they have for an Igbo man, the hatred they have for an Igbo man, they prefer to choose bad leaders. Because of the hatred they have for an Igbo man, they prefer to destroy their culture and heritage. Because they don't want an Igbo man to be president, or they don't want an Igbo man closer to the highest position of authority, they prefer to destroy the society and the country. I met an old man. The old man says that instead of him voting or supporting Peter Obi, he prefers to die poor. He prefers to support Tinubu that will destroy his life and the life of his children. So it is your problem if you hate an Igbo man, hate to see an Igbo man succeed or survive in this current contraption or mere geographical expression. Because of that, you decide to elevate leaders that will eventually destroy you. The joke is on you. Look at the Ooni of Ife. Look at what he did. Erecting a statue on behalf of wife to the president, Remi, Tinubu. Many Southwesterners, many Yorubas are kicking against that act. They are saying that they are losing the essence of why they are Yorubas. The Yoruba is known for Omoluabi. I'm not speaking for the Yorubas because at this point in time, I don't care. Some people have already decided they are hell-bent on destroying themselves because they hate to see an Igbo man in power. So I'm just doing this analysis to point to the fact that this country, we cannot stay together. So the Ooni of Ife erected a statue on behalf of the wife of the president, Remi Tinubu. I may ask, or may I ask, what has been our contributions to the Yoruba race? Even the husband, what has been the contribution of the husband to the Yoruba people? What is the legacy that Tinubu is going to bring out and say, this is my legacy that I'm leaving for my people? What is that legacy? Is it to snatch it, grab it, and run away with it? Is that the legacy? Because of hatred and bigotry, some people will choose leaders that will destroy themselves, destroy them and their entire generation because of hatred and bigotry. Another shocking thing that I noticed today was that, or I read about today was that Benjamin Kalu, you are pushing a bill that will, okay, we are going to have a university, Tinubu University in Nigeria. Tinubu University in Nigeria. Why do we set up universities in the first place? These are places of learning. The president, what does the president represent? You see what transpired at the election tribunal was whether he went to school, whether he didn't go to school, it is even not clear. There's no clear cuts like history of when he went to school or which school he actually went to. There was an incident whereby the day he graduated from a school that was not in existence. He graduated before they created the school. The lies, manipulation, the propaganda surrounding his academical life is uncertain. We cannot certain. We cannot point and say this is what the president has done academically. Before he ventured into politics, he has not worked in any parastatal. He has not sat on any board. He has not really done anything like. This man went to school. You're just hearing that he worked at Mobi. At the end of the day, we cannot point. There's no clear-cut information about the president. Then why create a university on behalf of the president? For what reason? For what reason? Mr. Benjamin Kalu, for what reason? Why are you creating a university on behalf of the president? Is he an academician? What has been his contribution to education in Nigeria? What does he stand for? What is his legacy? Or are you going to tell me that because, in quote, he built Lagos, which has been debunked so many times, that propaganda cannot fly? He actually did not build Lagos. There was a template he stood on. He stood on existing protocols. Jakande and the rest, the colonial masters, the federal government, the military regime had built Lagos, and Lagos has been a capital for over 30 years. And it got all the things that the investment from the federal government was massive in Lagos. Anybody, if I am the governor of Lagos State, I will perform much more than Sanwo-Olu. There are things I've been on ground. There are things that I know that needs to be done. There are some people that needs to give way. But yet you give us the propaganda that he built Lagos. What is the legacy of the president that we are going to stand on and say, yes, we need to create a university on behalf of this man? What is he teaching the youth? What are his life lessons to the young people? He created an agro-economy, putting Lagos in perpetual bondage. Agberos are becoming more influential in the society than those that went to school in Lagos. When it comes to education, Lagos, you don't see Lagos at the forefront when it comes to education or any competition in Nigeria. What has he? You took advantage of a state that has been heavily invested by people, the oil in Niger Delta, the federal government, the colonial masters. You took advantage of that, and you are telling yourself that you have a legacy of building Lagos. What did you actually build in Lagos? Lagos is a privileged state, and you took advantage of the indigenous of Lagos. You used their brain manipulate. There is no legacy that we can point out to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that such should be given a university. A university should be named. Is it because he's the president? Remember, the people are saying that we did not vote President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So because you people are hating on the Tinubu'S and Igbo man not to become president, you are destroying the country, you are destroying the society, you are destroying everything that has to make you human beings. Look at what Nigerians are crying about today. Petrol. Somebody that you said built Lagos from 189 naira to 1,100, 1,200 in Akwa Ibom, it is being sold for 2,000 naira. That is petrol that you have in abundance in Lagos. Because of a hatred for the Igbo man, your hatred for P2B, you are eventually going to destroy Nigeria last. I said it before that Tinubu may be Nigeria's last president. Atiku called Tinubu T-Pain. The Yorubas were, they just lost their voice. Not all Yorubas, those that used to attack P2B, they lost their voice. Are they afraid of an Hausa man or a Fulani man? Somebody on Twitter, Arewa Twitter, he said he wished the president dies before the end of his tenure. He's wishing the president death. Imagine that this was coming from P2B or an Igbo man. You see the backlash. You see the threats. Some people will eventually want to carry out physical harm on the Igbo man because these guys are slaves. These guys, not the Yoruba people, these particular Yoruba Ronu are slaves to the Fulani and Hausa. They are afraid to hit them. But when it's the Igbo man, they flare up. It has become a syndrome. Because of your hatred for the Igbo man, you destroy Nigeria. Nigeria is getting to an extent whereby it is going to self-destruct from inside and from outside. Look at how Nigeria was rejected at the United Nations General Assembly. Other smaller nations got heavy votes. Not that Nigeria even got like 100 votes. 3 votes. 3 votes, while others are getting 160, 190, 180. You can see the gap. You can see how Nigeria is destroying itself because you hate an Igbo man. Till now, if P2B comes out as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, some people with the hardship, as they are dying, they can't pay their school fees, they can't feed their families, they are traumatized. Some of them want to commit suicide. In that state, they will still not vote a P2B. They will still be hating on an Igbo man. They believe that if the Igbo man gets into power, somebody said that they will have Biafra. They are afraid. They are really afraid. They don't want the Igbo man to leave. But yet, they are denigrating, they are persecuting the Igbo man. Release Nnamdi Kanu, you say no. Let there be peace in the southeast, you say no. You are playing politics. You want to arrest Simon Ekpa, do the needful, you say no. We have the solution to ending insecurity in the southeast. We tell you the solution, you refuse to abide by it. You still want to continue in the carnage against the Igbo people. And you think that Nigeria is going to get better anytime. No, Nigeria is not getting better anytime soon. Let your hatred for the Igbo people increase. Because I don't see any reason, as somebody who lives in this country, why you create a university in the name of the president, in respect of the president. For what? How? You see these senators and these House of Rep members will be giving different reasons that does not tally, reasons that don't make sense. And you know of Ife, that's Yoruba culture. Erecting a statue. Are we in Nebuchadnezzar time? You start worshipping the president's wife, Remi Tinubu. What has been our contribution in Yoruba land? So for our brothers, bigotry is a disease. Bigotry is a demon. You think you are hating on Igbo. If Igbo live today, the bigotry still remains in you. The hatred still remains in you, and it is eventually going to kill the person. Because if you don't see anybody to hate, you start hating yourself. You start becoming paranoid. You think bigotry is just about hating the Igbo. If the Igbo go today, and you have Oduduwa, the Egba man will start hating the Ijebu. The Ijebu man will start hating the Ilorin man. Because there are always differences. Bigotry always look for differences. Excuses to hate. And if you not stay in your Ijebu, you hate the next person that is not your brother. If you not stay in your family, you hate the person that does not behave like you. The bigotry that Nigerians have for the Igbo man would eventually destroy itself and the country. I'm very happy that these things are going this way. We told people that you don't vote because of he's my brother. That does not make you go to school. If you say you went to school, that does not make you go to school. If you don't want to tell yourself the truth, that's even worse. Most people, their professors, they refuse to tell themselves the truth because they are blinded by bigotry. They are blinded by all sort of shenanigans. P2P is there. He's not suffering. He's a billionaire. He's even helping people. He wants to serve the country. But you use the coloration of an Igbo man to look at him, and you said, P2P cannot be my president. You are suffering. Most of you are suffering. And you still don't see an Igbo man. I'm not even looking at P2P because P2P is not the focal point now. We have made up our mind that we are going our separate ways. That is what is at the back of our minds. Whether there's regionalism, whatever, however you bring it, the end game is that we'll dismantle this system and create a system that works for everybody. So that when you don't see an Igbo man, or an Igbo man is in your state or region, you can do whatever with him. So far, there is a international, according to international law, you can do whatever with him. Then you can tolerate what the Igbo man does not want to tolerate when he was in Nigeria. If your leaders do evil, you can decide not to protest because it's your brother. If they steal your money, you can decide not to talk because you people refuse to talk during Buhari because it was Tinubu that brought in Buhari. You refuse to talk. You refuse to criticize the guy. As the guy was killing, was destroying, was dismantling, was decimating the economy, you people refuse to open your mouth to say anything. And you're expecting anybody not to say anything against Tinubu because you are the people that attach Tinubu to the Yoruba culture and heritage. Somebody attacks Tinubu today, they'll say you're attacking a Yoruba man. What have to be Igbo or Moibo? I see on Twitter where some people are saying that you can attack Tinubu, but don't attack Yoruba, our elders. They are being clever by half. They can never have truth in their mouth. They are always lying and always having having to push propaganda at any slightest opportunity. It's unfortunate that we started criticizing Buhari because Buhari actually destroyed the country. Some people were saying that we are abusing the Fulani and this. We criticized Buhari. Buhari was pushing an agenda, and all this were true. A Sunday Igboho who represents the Yorubas could attest to that. But yet some people had to I don't understand how these people think. You see the truth, you refuse to stand by the truth. T-Pain is being criticized. That is Tinubu. Some people are saying you are criticizing Yoruba man. At the end of the day, the Yorubas are now taking the straight bullet because I don't see Tinubu representing anything in Yoruba land. Tell me one thing that Tinubu represents in Yoruba land. Tell me one thing. Omoluabi, ethics. Omoluabi, culture. Omoluabi, ethos. Tell me one thing that Tinubu represents or the wife represents in Yoruba land. Tell me one. It's not just you just come and speak and start speaking grammar. We understand. Some of us are intelligent to decipher what you are saying. There's nothing. But because of this hatred, you want to destroy the beautiful Yoruba. Yoruba culture is one of the richest culture in Nigeria. Well documented culture. Many people love it. Even in Brazil, you see Yoruba in other parts of the country. Well documented and rich culture. Because of hatred, bigotry for a fellow human being, some people want to throw away and destroy that culture by electing leaders that do not worth it. Well, the leaders have found a way to make them slaves. That's why education. There's no legacy Tinubu has in the Southwest. We know that Awolowo had a legacy. What is the legacy of Tinubu? Instead, you are destroying the fabric. The fabric that made people envy the Yorubas. Agbado Agberoism is now the order of the day. Snatch, grab, and run away with it. Is that a legacy that you want to bequeath? See, I want to speak to my Igbo brothers. At this point in time, let's not start flaunting our wealth. You don't have money. You don't have money if you start flaunting your wealth online. I see some of our Igbo, in quotes, billionaires going and start spraying money whilst you have not developed your village, while your language is not recognized in some universities abroad. Hausa language, Yoruba language is being recognized in some universities abroad, where most whites don't acknowledge. I use the word acknowledge the Igbo language. Don't say our Igbo brothers are going abroad to go and marry. We are this and that. Do you have Igbo literature texts that are popular? Igbo musicians that are propagating the gospel of the language. Let's leave these guys. Let them self-destruct. Let them destroy themselves. What they have built over the years, because they hate an Igbo man. You that they hate, there is an Igbo man. What are you doing to improve yourself? I've started looking for Igbo literatures that I'm reading. I have a plan to go to my community, to do one or two things in my community, create awareness, and make sure that my people are enlightened on the opportunities they need to tap in today's world so that they can be relevant in the scheme of things. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to December time, you now start flaunting the mansion. Ndibo where go. This one. That is rubbish. That's stupid. Flaunt what you have innovated. Innovation is worth flaunting. Flaunt the things that you have, how you have empowered your community, the society. Flaunt it. The giant strides you have made, whether in tech, whether in business, whether in politics, whether in agriculture. What are the giant strides you have made? Not showing us that you are spraying money. That is stupidity. At the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it. There's nothing. You become puppet for this government that does not value human life and sanctity. It's unfortunate that at this point in time, we are electing leaders that do not care about us, do not care about our existence, do not care whether we have a culture or a tradition, but they want to destroy it because of greed. And the people are helping them destroy it because they have this inherent hatred for their fellow brother, which is an Igbo man. But whoever God has blessed, no man can curse.